Thanks for joining us. I'm Philip Coleman, and we continue our news tonight. It's every working parent's worst nightmare, finding out that the person watching your child is putting that child in harm's way. A daycare worker in Hoover was arrested on Tuesday after police say she was filmed shaking a toddler. The woman was employed by Bright Horizons, a daycare company that manages the child care center for Blue Cross Blue Shield employees in Hoover. Police say that online camera footage shows that the woman on August 27th grabbed a 17-month-old child and then aggressively and forcefully shook that child. Derica Stevens surrendered to authorities on a misdemeanor charge of reckless endangerment. Meanwhile, a physician who examined that child says there are no apparent injuries. And here in Tuscaloosa, our very own Chelsea Barton sat down with a local child abuse prevention expert today to learn just how serious shaken baby syndrome is. Chelsea joins us now live in the studio with more. Chelsea.
Philip, Nanette Sue Glaus with Tuscaloosa Child Abuse Prevention Services tells me it's an estimated between 12 and 1,600 cases of shaken baby syndrome that are occurring each year in the United States alone. And 25% of those shaken babies die from their injuries. The other 75% can suffer severe brain damage.
When you were talking about the parts
So when a baby is being shaken and their head is moving around, they're tearing blood vessels, nerves, and tissue, and slamming this tissue up against the skull. So when bleeding starts to occur, there's not much they can do to stop the bleeding.
Glaus says in infants, it can be hard for parents to recognize shaken baby syndrome.
They might not show the signs right away, and sometimes children up to the age of 5 or 6, when they get into school, what the teachers might notice that they're having some disabilities, and it could be as a result of being shaken or hurt when they were very young as babies.
And although the effects of shaking a baby are irreversible, it doesn't take long to cause damage.
If this child has incurred that brain damage, this child could have blindness, cerebral palsy, the inability to be consoled, the inability to feed. Their eyes may not be able to focus.
Glaus tells me parents and caregivers can never be too observant when it comes to looking for signs of abuse.
Look out for things like lethargy, the inability to focus, the inability to respond to you. Their sleep patterns, their eating patterns may be disrupted.
And if you find yourself becoming frustrated with the child, Glaus suggests having a plan to separate you from the heat of the situation.
Put the baby down in a safe place and walk away. Do what you need to do. Go outside for a little bit, stand on your front porch and breathe. Whatever it takes for you to calm down and be the nurturing parent that you want to be, that's what you need to do.
If you find yourself in a situation like this, you can call the Child Help USA hotline at 1-800-4A-CHILD or, of course, call 911. For WVUA 23 News, I'm Chelsea Barton.